Who do we have? None other than DRT Communications, my girl, Danielle Terrelonge. As you know, DRT is often, or maybe you don't know, because this is a behind the scenes kind of company. They're often working diligently behind the scenes to get good press for their clients. And usually they're making things happen for other companies, but now they're in the news themselves with their brand new media monitoring technology. So here to tell us all about it is founder of DRT Communications, Danielle Terrelonge, and media monitoring manager, Kalilah McDowell. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us, Kalilah. It always is a pleasure to be on with you.
Cheers, Danielle.
Cheers, because we get this money.
Yes, we're twinning with our Let's Get This Money cups. All right, so let me start with you, Danielle, because I've been hearing you talk about this media monitoring technology for probably about 4 years now. I think pre-COVID, so probably about 5 years now at least. Tell us what it is.
Sure. So our media monitoring technology actually started in 2015, and it was birthed out of a need for communications and marketing professionals who are constantly doing the great work that you see that we do even at DRT and so many marketing agencies, directors of marketing, all the work we do, all the press releases we send out, what we're really doing, our system is listening, not just in Jamaica, not just in the Caribbean, but even globally, we're able to do that. It is listening to TVJ in Jamaica, TV6 in Trinidad for all our Trinidadians on tonight, and you can even listen to CNN or Al Jazeera. It is looking at press clippings, radio, social media, and online. And let's just take a company, for example, the Jamaica Public Service was with us today at our launch, and they have keywords and phrases. And every single time that a keyword or phrase that they have chosen, Jamaica Public Service, JPS, Hurricane Beryl, lights gone, anything that comes up that across any media channel, our system picks it up, aggregates it, and sends them a report. And we do this in real time. And we've been doing this since 2015. And what we launched today was even more exciting technology and better technology. And we're so excited about it.
Okay, I need to hear this because so far I'm thinking, how is this different from Google Alerts?
Oh, it is absolutely 100% not even, I call it Google Alerts on crack. And maybe that's not a particularly professional way of saying it. But Google Alerts is not giving you the analytics that we are able to give you. It is not able to give you the media intelligence that marketing communications professionals need. We hear from our communications directors and our CEOs that they take our reports. Our alerts don't just give you an alert. It gives you the sentiment attached to it. So if somebody tweets right now, I love Kalilah Reynolds, I love Money Media, our system is going to say, that's fantastic. That's a good sentiment. And you aggregate, all press clippings, all media clippings around major brands. And then they're able to see cumulatively across all media channels, what are they showing up with? Positive sentiment, neutral sentiment, negative sentiment. We're also able to look at this in a comprehensive way. So a Google alert will just give you an alert, an email, but does it tell you, how are you performing in radio? How are you performing in television? Who's talking about you? Who's talking about you in X? And also, it's important to realize that the real-time capability of this service, right? So as communications professionals, I said it today, we have all gotten the call that our brand or the brand of one of our clients was mentioned on television or on your show. We are able to track in real time, get that clip and deliver it to our client in real time. And our new technology even allows our clients to have access to their own portal, which I'll allow Kalilah to speak to in a second because she speaks more to the tech. But this is much bigger than any Google alert. We have invested a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort into giving clients the analysis, the analytics that they need to monitor all their marketing and communications efforts.
So having said all that, I want to see how it works. I don't know if you guys came prepared to do a demo, But Michaela, maybe if you maybe you have a little time to find it and do a screen share. But in the meantime, I want to take a step back and find out, Danielle, how did you get here? So tell us the DRT story.
Sure, no problem. And I do hope, Michaela, you can go right ahead and bring up the system and tell me if it's possible. I'm sure it's possible. And we'll actually just, if it's possible to screen share, we'll do a live demo and show you something that maybe just aired on TVJ 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, just as an example. But
Perfect.
the
Yes, you can screen share. So just try to see if you can do that behind the scenes while Danielle tells us DRT's story. I didn't come prepared for that. I know you didn't come prepared for that. I just dropped that on you in the middle of the show, but let's see if we
something
can make it
that's
happen.
perfect. That's perfect because that is actually the life of a marketing professional, the life of a CEO. And Michaela is not new to having to move in the moment. So as long as the technology works, we'll be able to do it. So the story of DRT is I started this business in 2008 as a PR practitioner out of my bedroom, really. Media monitoring came later on. Red Bull, who I worked with at the time, they were my client. And they would go to Austria, where Red Bull is situated, and see all of these fantastic reports coming out of the US or Europe, for example. And they would be able to say everything that had happened on USA Today or the New York Times and have these fancy reports. Whereas we in the Caribbean and Latin America, we could only like cut out the newspaper or maybe hope to have watched TVJ and taken a screen recording if we were so lucky. The measurement of the work we were doing in public relations, the measurement of the work that we were doing in marketing was so important to a global brand. And then as I did my research, I realized, hang on, this is important to brands globally. This will be important to all our banks, all our telecoms, all large entities, all medium-sized entities. We did an IPO recently. We did it with you. And we were able to, as soon as you said IPO alert, our client got that alert. They knew we were live, right? And then, of course, all other media caught up. We were able to see immediately which brokerage houses said this was a good buy, which said was not a good buy. This was, impactful technology that hit because of an idea that was placed in me by Red Bull to say, hey, we want to go to Austria with the same level of technology. And they actually challenged me. They said, Danielle, you bring that technology to the Caribbean and to Latin America, and we'll be your client. And actually they were for quite some time.
I have a comment on IG. Somebody on Instagram says, don't talk too loud. Google may want to buy you out.
I'm just saying, whoever said that, let's just take it as a prophetic word. We are there for it. The thing about what we've done, so whilst we launched this service in 2015, what we have done now with the support of the Development Bank of Jamaica is that we have built our own system. We have customized it, tailored it. It speaks AI, it speaks in different languages. We're able to monitor and measure in different languages, different jurisdictions as it becomes important. So you take many of our Jamaican companies as an example, who are operating in Ghana, who are operating in Barbados or Trinidad, or I heard somebody was in Turks and Caicos earlier. And our system is able to see who's talking about Grace Tomato Ketchup because those are export products and they're going to hear about it. They're not just going to hear about it on Twitter tracking or a hashtag. They're able to hear about it across all media channels. And that's what's groundbreaking because we built this technology, we customized it, we trained our whole team up, and we offer amazing, amazing services, which we launched off today. The other really great thing, and I hope Michaela is able to be ready shortly just to show everyone, is that I'm talking about news and media mentions, but we also have our advertising portal, where right now I could tell you how much money has been spent by any company across any industry right now year to date. I could
In
come up with
Jamaica?
right away. I could tell you right now how much was spent in press, how much was spent in radio, how many
Really?
placements. I could tell you across the financial sector, for example, X company spent this or X company spent this in radio versus press. I can give you that data. And what it does is it guides and gives our clients a competitive look
I
at
want that data.
what's happening in the landscape. Well, actually, we have
But
some.
isn't that private information? Like they don't publish that anywhere. So how would
No,
you
it's not
get that?
published, but our systems are monitoring all of the advertising that's placed, all of the mentions, all of the newscasts. Our systems are monitoring that, and then we see the ad. Our system sees the ad and aggregates and sees how many times that ad places and sees it in press and how many times it's placed. And then our system
Mm,
aggregates it and calculates it. So I can tell you in the telecoms who is outspending who
so
is
you can
spending
figure
more in
that out.
TV, etc. And that's what makes it super magical because you bring all of that into good analytics. It's phenomenal, and it helps to guide strategy. We say at DRT, we're not here to just provide a service. We're actually empowering our clients with data to make strategic decisions.
We have to talk after the show. I need some data. But first, let's bring in Michaela. All right, Michaela, were you able to get the demo up? Were you able to bring something up for us?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. I'm ready to go. Are you able
Okay,
to see
tell us.
my screen?
Yes, tell us
So
what we're
let's
looking at.
let's play a game here. Like somebody in the audience, if you could just name a brand, any brand that you know is in Jamaica right now, or Kalilah, you choose a brand.
Uh, a company name or a brand? So like
A
a
brand,
product that a company
a company
sells.
name. A company name is great.
Wisinko.
All right, let's see what showed up for Wisinko in the news recently.
All right. If I can see it in this limited view, I will log in via another option. One moment, please.
All right. Well, in the meantime, as we're doing that, because she'll come right back on with it. So we chose Wisinko. We could have chose. Okay, there we go. So
Here we
right
are.
now, yeah.
So, when we upgraded our technology, we wanted to give our clients deeper insights, advanced analytics, and of course, increase user capabilities. And as part of that initiative, we developed our own portal that they can log into, access the media mentions, and interpret them. The portal here is not just a generic solution that you can find elsewhere. When you log in, you'll be able to see a list of keywords that you would have submitted to us. These can be terms or persons or events or campaigns that you may want to track. And just as how you suggested Wisinko just now, we can add that term to our system. Once we do that, you're able to see results for the same. And not only that, you're able to add different labels, which are called tags, to the results, and that helps with organizing them. As you can see, the results come from different sources in terms of the types and the origin. Daniel shared that we track results from social media, online news platforms, the newspapers, and also television and radio, of course. We monitor and track in real time. As you can see, this Instagram image was posted today around 1:35 p.m. And so if there's something that's more recent, then we would be able to see a more recent clip because we are actually monitoring in real time. Let me choose another example and see if I can see something that's more recent. Not right now, but you get the gist. We also have a wide range of filters that you can use to view the different results. Good. Here, as you can see for Scotiabank, this is a clip that our system pulled just 8:16 p.m. That was just a few minutes ago. And in addition to that clip, we have a certain number of results from social media and so on. The other filters I was talking about include that for the markets. We have the capability to monitor different sources internationally.
Hold
We
on, before you continue. So you pulled that clip from TVJ News, which was just a few minutes ago. Uh, is that because the news is streamed on live, on the internet, or do you also pull stuff from radio, which you might not hear when somebody mentions something on the radio? If you missed it, and there's no rebroadcast, for example.
No,
right.
we get it live from the stream from, so TVJ News just aired on TVJ News, whether you watched it on cable, whether you watched it online, we are picking up the stream, the broadcast, if you will, from everywhere, so that there's no missing. There's no missing any results. So that would have aired on, I guess, primetime news just recently.
So there doesn't have to be text. It listens and hears when the keyword is
Listening.
mentioned.
And
Right.
I'll jump in on Kalilah here. It's also seeing. So if a logo, our new technology, allows for image recognition, including logo recognition.
Wow.
So, for example, taking stock, if they were in our system, your logo is in our system, but you said nothing, you didn't say taking stock, we would be able to pick you up as well. Go ahead, Michaela.
As you can see, you are able to follow in the transcript for this keyword, and the video is also available in addition to the audio.
Winning reggae artist Roger Banton made an impressive return to Canada over the weekend.
The clips for radio are similar, but of course, this time around you won't have a visual.
Gus is coming to you from Love 101 FM, the family station, and the time is now 5:14 p.m.
When it comes on to mentions from other sources, you are
So
able
it clips that audio or that video
right.
and puts it in your account that you can
So
access online.
exactly.
How the
And it's
system
aggregated.
how the system actually works is with speech to text translations. So when we have a keyword and we include it in our system, some sort of transcription happens along the way, and so our system is able to pull it in by transcribing that specific keyword. And as a part of our upgrade, we enhance our local speech recognition. So in the instance where somebody pronounces something with an accent or just in Creole, we're also capable of picking that up. So once it was said and we're tracking that source, it will be consolidated on this particular platform and you will have access to it. That's
very, very interesting
right.
and very cool. I'm seeing lots of comments here saying, Kemoy says, oh, wow, which was my reaction as well. I was like, what? This is, I love what you guys are doing. So we have some questions from the audience. Sean wants to know, is this retail? Can anyone create an account? And adding, do you guys have packages for individuals, or is it on the B2B at this point?
No, it is B2 anyone, I would have to say at this point. The thing is, the beautiful thing about our new technology, and I'll answer Sean directly. Sean, you could be an influencer. You could be, somebody who's building your own brand and want to always be able to track wherever you are mentioned. So absolutely, we would have packages for you. Kalilah, one of the things that we have done recently, and this was really possible through the DBJ funding, is that we were able to actually productize our packages a lot more clearly. And so we have, the large companies, but we're also able to have, more tiered products, more tiered services. So, an SME who is interested. So someone gave me the example this evening of restaurateurs. They want to, South Avenue Grill may want to be looking at what Susie's Bakery is doing, maybe wanting to look at what's happening at Prendy's. Who are they competing with in this space? Who's getting more mentions on X? Who's getting TVJ coverage? Who is getting, YouTube coverage? That type of thing. So you put everybody in a category and you're able to look at your competitive landscape. Also, of course, you have the larger financial institutions or the telecoms companies, and then everyone in between. One of the packages that we think is so important, and our goal, is that every single company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, whether that be the junior exchange or the main exchange, your reputation is your greatest asset, right? You've just gone public or you've been public for a while. You have to deliver these quarterly results. What are people saying about you every quarter? We absolutely believe that every single company listed on the stock exchange here and all other stock exchanges needs to have an account with us. And even if that's just a part of, we have a very special product for companies like that. So B2C, B2 retail, Sean, we got you. If I just have a feeling you have a big brand going on there, and we're ready to support you.
Well, I soon ask about pricing because people wants to know. But first, more questions from the audience. There's lots of interest. Philip wants to know, how does the media mention data transfer to leads and further to customer sales? Are you able to track that?
Absolutely. So, Philip, you always ask the most fantastic questions, and on this side of things, I want to say thank you for being so supportive of many of the IPOs that I've been a part of. I consider you one of my journalists, so this is my opportunity to tell you thank you. If you could put back up the question again, because I always get sidetracked by Philip. The media mentioned data transferring to leads and customizing were really huge on strategic decisions, right? So if you as a company, let's just say a telecoms company, launches a campaign and you are offering, new telephones with this service for $5,000 as an example, and your competitor launches a similar product, you're able to see immediately how is this new media campaign that we have put out against our competitor's campaign, how are our sales tracking against that? Because we're all doing the marketing, but are you tracking it? One of the things, Philip, that I think is so important, and I use this example today at our launch, as many marketing directors and marketing managers do, we go and we tell our CFO we're spending $25 million at Sumfest. And next year we go back and we say, we need 35 million. The CFO says, oh no, but you now have the data to back that when you spent $25 million sponsoring Sumfest last year, you got $41 million in ROI because of your media mentions, your online return on investment. We are able to actually quantify that in analytics, in analysis, for you to actually stand in front of your board of directors. We heard Winsome Callum say today that she said it with pride, so I know I can repeat it, that her communications report coming out of JPS goes to the board, and it actually gives credibility to the work of the communications and marketing team at JPS, because there's an intangible and a tangible part to the marketing, but most of the time we're not measuring it. We're not adding the quantitative and the qualitative analysis. And this is what our system does on your behalf. It gives you that sentiment, your reach. And all of these things, of course, Philip, as you know, will drive sales. It will drive your strategy, your strategic decisions, right? It is able to give you your total impressions across all media channels. And that's really what makes it totally fantastic.
And that's exactly the struggle that a lot of marketing managers have, the pain point that they have, which I'm sure you're well aware of, that they have to report to the board and try to figure out how does this translate to sales. And there's no real way to track the effectiveness of what they're doing. But now you have introduced this solution. So
and you have data to back it up. That's the most important thing. You stand before your board and you say, I have the data to back up my budget increase. Thank you very much, sir.
Perfect. Garvin wants to know, what if people refer to a company by different names other than the formal name?
Kalilah, go with that.
Right, if I can chime in here. One of the benefits of using our services is understanding that you're not getting a tool, you're getting a service, and the technology, the equipment, the software, it's complemented by media monitoring officers. So that means that we take into consideration things like the cultural nuances and the context in which certain things are mentioned. So if we know that there is a company that has a formal name, we will also include another name that the company is normally mentioned as. And as we're monitoring, if we see that there's a slang that has emerged or a particular way that the consumers tend to refer to it, then of course we'll integrate that into our tracking. When it comes on to sentiment, we have to employ a similar approach because, as Jamaicans, sometimes they may say, oh, the juice, the body, but they actually mean that the drink is good, they enjoy it. So we, in turn, somebody says juicy beef versus juicy patties, that's a good example. We in turn take those things into consideration and just ensure that we're doing comprehensive monitoring for your brand or your keywords.
Right. So we have, the conversation is getting juicy over here. As you mentioned, juicy patties and juicy beef. Let me find back. Oh, where are the comments? Where did they go? All right, let me find it back. There's one in particular that I wanted to highlight. Where did it go? Here it is. Lori wants to know, how does your tool pull that data, and what are the legal implications for mining this data?
Absolutely, Laurie. Thank you for asking that question. So we do not rebroadcast of anything. We actually have stipulations within our contracts that nothing that we pull is for rebroadcast, right? We absolutely adhere to the broadcasting guidelines of Jamaica and any other territory that we are in. You have to understand that this is media that has already been offered to the world. You've already seen it on TVG. What our system is doing is actually aggregating it and turning it into analysis, turning it into data that you can use. You need to understand media monitoring is used globally. Today I gave examples of Starbucks using media monitoring for some of their public advocacy programs. We see Nike using it. There is probably not a global brand that you can think of right now. We know for sure right now, we know this as a fact, that the US presidential election they are using for their whole campaign, pre-election and during the election period, they're using media monitoring, the communications team, to react and be able to respond and change strategy. Both candidates are using this service to be able to change strategy based on voter sentiment, based on how the voters are speaking, based on how news houses are broadcasting about them. That this is used globally. As I said, this came to me from Red Bull that was using the service globally, but it just wasn't available in the Caribbean. And we said, then we're going to do something different and we're going to do something extraordinary for the Caribbean.
Next question is follow-up coming from Philip, again with the tough questions. Philip wants to know, how do you ensure data security? Are you DPA compliant?
Thank you so much for that, Philip. We are actually, we have to acknowledge our team members, because the team members are who make DRT strong. So we are actually in the process of building we have a DPO in our offices. We are working with a company, 876 Solutions, who are working with us to create our DPA framework, and we are absolutely adhering to the act. So thank you for that question, and I'm so glad that I could answer that with confidence. As with every Jamaican company right now, this is all new, so we have had to switch systems. We do not do business in WhatsApp, as an example. We do not discuss client details in WhatsApp because that is not DPA compliant. We just learned that a couple months ago. So we do actually have a designated DPO, and we are in constant contact with the OIC presently.
Oh, I did not know that either. I thought because WhatsApp they always say it's end-to-end encrypted. So
no, we learned that. We're like, okay, so everybody, we're going to Slack. So all business and client communications now happens in Slack.
Wow. Okay. Sean wants to know.
Sorry, go ahead.
How far back does the data go?
Michaela?
Currently, we work with a 1-year archive. And so if you'd want something like a period over period analysis for a particular metric, we're capable of providing that.
1 year. Okay. Shells has a suggestion. She thinks that this would be good to pull the data for stocks in your own portfolio, block out the noise, and no need to go to 10 plus websites. Just go to one place and see what they're saying about the stocks that you're interested in.
That is actually a really great idea, Shells, and something that we'll think about. One of the things that we are doing right now, in order to just keep active, is that we are generating industry-specific and topic-specific reports. One of the things we did not so recently, but we wanted to understand, Crime Stop is a big client of ours, and so we actually did a paper, if you will, on how crime was being reported on in Jamaica. So we did a case study looking at how the media and how the Jamaican people were speaking about crime and the different types of crime, things that are topical. So you can look out for industry specific or topic specific. Now you've given us an idea, Shell. So maybe that will be one of our kind of free downloads so that people get acquainted and get to use our data and actually take them into their organization. Shells, I hope, and Philip and everybody who's working with organizations, I hope you're going to go into work tomorrow and say, listen, this is a powerful tool that we can all benefit from. All organizations, small, medium, and large, we have a product and a service for you.
So I see some people in the comments who seem to be sold, but we need to know the price. So how much does this cost, Danielle?
Well, the thing is, because all of our packages are tailor-made, you have extremely large customers and smaller customers. So the kind of thing that we like to do is speak to our business development officer, speak to me. You can find me on Instagram or YouTube, or all of us, Danielle at DRT Communications, info at drtcommunications.com, and we're actually ready to tailor our packages straight for you. We have our packages, but what we're going to say to you is, hey, what's important for you? Is sentiment more important? Do you want advertising monitoring, news mention? Do you just want social media? Because some people are saying, we don't do much there, and our industry doesn't speak much in the traditional media space at this time. We'd like to just monitor our social at this time, what's happening across our landscape. So we have something specific for you there. And it's really important that we see that this is for businesses to predominantly to use this data to make strategic decisions around their sales, their marketing, their distribution, and even their supply. And as I said, publicly listed companies, we see government entities. Some of our clients are government entities that want to know what are their regulators saying right now as they go for a tariff increase or a price increase. What is happening right now. So there's so many uses of this product.
Politics.
Service in politics.
Elections coming up. What is public sentiment saying?
What is the public sentiment? I know that is one of the reports that our team is working on. We had the beautiful benefit today of having Senator the Honorable Aubin Hill speak to us today about what is happening in Jamaica. How is Jamaica growing? And I actually wrote a note in my phone that I want us to do a report on how people feel about growth prospects in Jamaica. We see a lot coming out from our ministers and our debt to GDP, dropping from 147 to wherever it's at now, much lower than it was. I think it's almost half. These are the conversations that are important to people, but these are the conversations that are also guiding businesses to make the strategic decisions. National policy, companies are interested in that right now. So it's really important for companies to keep abreast, if you will, of what's happening at the national policy level, their brands, and also their competitive space.
So on pricing, where does it start for, say, a retail investor? Like what's the minimum?
Our products go anywhere from $600. I'll be kind of backing up here because, as I said, most everything is customized. But
right.
Our products start at anywhere between $600, and we have clients that
that's US dollars.
Sorry, yes, my apologies to you. $600 US, and we have clients that go much bigger than that because they are monitoring a much larger landscape. They may be monitoring the region, or they may just be monitoring Jamaica. It really varies. They may have 100 keywords because you may have a large group, a conglomerate, if you will, that has. We have one conglomerate that has 17 subsidiaries, and there are keywords for each of those subsidiaries. So they have about 100 keywords. Our reporting for that gets very, very specific. We may have executives who only want a specific type of report. And then we have the marketing team that wants their reports. Everything is customized. What's happening here is that this tool is giving people the power. We are empowering people to make strategic decisions. And by people, I mean mid to upper management and boards of directors to make strategic decisions for their companies and their brands.
And I imagine that's like a monthly subscription?
Yes. Generally speaking, we go by month. Once in a blue moon, which is really great for us, and this happened to us recently, we had an agency out of, I believe it was Mexico, that was operating, they had a brand that wanted to come into Jamaica, and they asked in the beverage industry, and they asked us for a beverage industry, non-alcoholic beverage industry report. And so that is what we would call a one-off report. And that they wanted, Mika can remind me, I think they wanted to go back 3 months and look at what the advertising and the news outcome was for the non-alcoholic beverage industry. So that would be a one-off report. As I said, everything is totally customized because of clients' needs are so specific. Their campaigns, their competitors' campaigns will be totally different.
GD on Instagram says, this may be one of the most interesting companies I've ever seen on Taking Stock.
Wow, GD, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We have been at this for quite some time, and in the preamble, Kalilah, Sashel had said to me, your producer had said, there are many entrepreneurs on this show, and this is just my way of saying to entrepreneurs, innovation is key. We heard it from the senator today. Innovation. What we have is some extremely smart people in Jamaica. I just get blessed to work with 19 of them, right? And I have somebody like Michaela who started in my company as an intern and is now a manager, right? I keep teasing her that she's actually my successor, but she hasn't taken me on with it yet. But we have an opportunity. This company, I'd like to speak to every entrepreneur here. This company started in my bedroom 16 years ago, and we are where we are today, where we were able to attract a 20 million Jamaican dollar grant, technology grant for a woman-led company, right? This is funded by the IADB and the EU. And we were able to get that grant a year ago, build our technology and refine it. And we are sitting here today at the cusp of offering these services to the Caribbean. And I may not look as, I know I look quite young right now, but the thing is, we've been at this for a while. And I want to say to every entrepreneur, keep going, keep innovating, keep building, keep refining, keep finding opportunities because they are out there.
Round of applause for DRT, woman-owned, Jamaican-owned brand. Love to see the progress. Sean says, I'm itching to get my hands on this. And he says, please, please, please tell me you guys are developing an API service for developers.
Michaela, that one is over to you. I'm not quite sure.
That's something we will definitely consider because we're always innovating. What I can say is that we do integrate API services into our monitoring. Let's talk, Sean. Email us info@drtcommunications.com.
Yes.
And info@drtcommunications.com. Good, because people were asking for your contact information earlier. Patricia, who I know is also in our industry as a marketer, veteran marketer, says, looking forward to more tiered products, especially for solopreneurs. Roswell says, for real, I find this company to be very interesting. So now let me ask you the question I always ask our entrepreneurs, Danielle, and I have heard you mention these three letters before in relation to DRT. So when's the IPO?
That is the $1 million question. I will admit it is something that we have thought about, and we have looked at many different opportunities for growth, for capital injection. Right now we are just in building mode. We have launched this technology. We have gotten grant funding. I'm not saying no to an IPO in the future. My ears tickle every time somebody suggests it to me. So why not? There's so many ways of, there's private equity, there's an IPO. There's so many ways that we can go ahead. And all I would have to say to you is stay tuned and ensure that you are a part of the building of DRT Communications by being one of our clients and being a big supporter of a woman-led organization run with 2 other female managers. I will say a board of 3 out of 5 females. This is a time for growth for us, and I think I'm skirting the topic, but stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you, Michaela, for giving us that great demo and telling us all about your business and this brand new media monitoring technology that's about to change the game for how marketing is done in Jamaica. Not only done, but measured.
And monitored.
And monitored, right. Because what gets measured gets managed. What gets monitored gets bigger budgets.
If you measure it, you can improve on how you manage it.
Exactly.
That's exactly the way to put it. Another thing, Kalilah, I just want to say, I know you're closing out, is the reason why I skirt around the IPO thing is because DRT actually manages so many of the IPOs that comes to our stock exchange. We manage the communications around it. We manage the monitoring around it. So right now we're actually focused on future IPOs that are coming to market. So we're pretty excited about that and have our focus there. So that's where I would say to everybody, stand by, because the truth is there's a lot happening in Jamaica right now. There's a lot of promise happening in Jamaica right now. So as Kalilah would say, let's get this money.
Any on your plate for this year? The rest of this year?
Can't say. I have confidentiality agreements, maybe.
Maybe. All right, fine. I'll take it. Thank you guys so much. And all the best. I hope you get a million calls after tonight.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And thank you for having us on. And thank you for always being a great supporter of us, Kalilah.
Every time. You know it.